Okay, once again, good morning to all. So first, I would like to give some introductions on this particular topic, level structures. Next, I will enter into this particular presentation, um, and then finally, you will have some interactions. You will have some few questions related to level structures. Um, um, Students, I have posted some two assignments in Google Classrooms. Okay, the two assignments are the first one, which is about history and format of Cobol programming, and the second one, which is about picture class. So you have two assignments in Google Classrooms. So open it and then type those assignments and post it. Okay. So you have two options normally, by writing in hand, and then scanning it, and then converting into PDF. You will post it in Google Classrooms. So instead of doing like that, just open it and then type your assignments directly in Google Classrooms and then submit it. So that will be good. To the maximum for each and every topic. Suppose if you are going to type it in your system, use some 15 lines to the maximum 15 lines. So you could segregate into some three paragraphs, and then for each paragraph you could use some 5 lines or 6 lines. So for each topic you're going to type some 15 to 18 lines to the maximum. Okay. So you could directly type it in your Google Classroom, so that will be good. So instead of writing in your hand and then scanning it and converting into PDF and then posting it in Google Classrooms, just straight away open the Google Classrooms, open that particular assignment and then type it directly. So that it could be easy for me to evaluate and then grant some points or marks to that particular assignments in Google Classrooms itself. Okay. So the time limit is you have to complete it by Sunday. So Sunday, which is going to be the last date for submitting your assignment. So you have two assignments, so complete it by Sunday. So for each week, you will have some assignments, and then you will have some um, quiz like questioning sessions or MCQ type questions. So I'm going to create some questions in Kahoot, KAHWT Kahoot, which is going to be an environment like gaming like environment. So that simply you could open it, and then you will have a question, and then you're going to answer it. You're going to click those options. That's it. So you have an quiz environment named as Kahoot, KAHWT. So in that particular environment, I will post some 10 questions for a week, and then I will send that link either through WhatsApp, or else I will send the link, post those link in Google Classroom. So just click that particular link, and then it will give you some questions and then answers. You have to choose appropriate answers, and then you have to submit it. So soon after submission, it will gives you marks immediately. Okay, it will gives you marks immediately. So I will tell in detail about that particular Kahoot, and after completing this particular topic, level structures. So keep it in mind, for each week at least you have to for each week you have to submit one assignment, and you have to answer one quiz. So the quiz, which consists of some 10 questions. Okay. So these are the two works that you have to do for per week. Okay. um, so today we are going to discuss on this particular topic, level structures. The purpose of this topic, level structures, is to differentiate elementary data item and group data item. We are using this particular level structures. So it's going to give some structure to your data item. So the level structure, the purpose of level structure is, so make note of these things. So the purpose of level structure is, it's going to give structure to your data item. Okay. So suppose the question is going to be, what is the purpose of level structure, or what is the use of level structure? The answer for this question is to structure the data item. We are using this level structures. Okay. So whatever the data item that you're going to use in your program, to give some hierarchical structure, we are going to use this level structure. So automatically the question rises, why we have to hierarchically arrange the data items? Simply just like that declaration of the data, those data items, we could use those data items. And then why we need this hierarchical arrangement? That's going to be the next probable question. The answer for this question is, so normally, suppose if you are going to use elementary data item, you don't need to mention, or you don't need to arrange the data in a hierarchical order. At the same time, suppose you are going to use a group data item, surely there you have to mention, or there you have to use this level number or hierarchical structure of arrangements of your data item. So this is going to be the difference actually that we have. We have two types of data item. Make a note, we have two types of data item. The first one, which is going to be, we used to call it as an elementary data item, and second one, which is going to be group data item. Okay, so we have two different types of data item. The first one, which is going to be elementary data item, the second one, which is going to be group data item. So to differentiate these things, so what is the elementary data item and what is the group data item, we are using this particular concepts. So first you must know what is the basic difference that we have between elementary data item and group data item. Elementary data item, which refers to each and every individual data item present in your program, we used to call it as an elementary data item, basic or primary data item. So each and every individual data item that you're going to declare within your program, for your program, those data item we used to call it as an elementary data item. And then the next one, group data item, which refers to the data item which used to group elementary data item, and to that grouping we are going to give some common name, a group name actually. Okay, so by grouping of elementary data item, we are going to create a new name, that particular name which is going to be the group name for the group data item. So you must know the difference between elementary data item and group data item. And then here, this hierarchical structure we are specifically we are going to use for group data item and not for elementary data item. Mostly, for most of the time, we used to use this hierarchical order only specifically for group data item and not for elementary data item. So that's going to be the basic difference between elementary data item and then group data item. And then we used to use the concept named as a level number. Okay, so this level structure, this particular concept, which is being implemented by using the concept named as a level number. By using the level number, we are going to implement the concept, concept which is going to be what, level structures. Okay, both of them which comes under the same thing or same concept. Okay, for hierarchical arrangement, we are going to use some numbers. And while using those level numbers, those numbers we used to call as level numbers, while using those level numbers, automatically which is going to provide some hierarchical structure. That particular structure we used to call it as a level structure. It's very simple. Okay, so using level number, you're going to arrange the data in a particular structure. That particular hierarchical structure we used to call it as a level structure. That's about level structure. And then here, for level numbers, we are going to use them 2-digit numbers. So basically here we have some 2-digit numbers. Using those 2-digit number, we are going to give level numbers for each and every data item to your program. So those level numbers are starting from 01 to 49. So starting from 01 till 49, you could use the level number. Other than this, you have some more level numbers like 66, 77 and 88. We will discuss about this 66, 77 and 88 later in further future discussions. Now we are going to use the level numbers 1 to 49 and 77 alone. Okay, and these are the numbers normally we used to use for elementary data items, starting from 01 until 49 and then 77. So these are the level numbers that we're going to use now. And then normally where we are going to use these level numbers and how we are going to use it. So you will have working storage section in your program. So you have some various divisions. Normally those divisions are what you have: identification division, and then you have environment, and then you have data division, and then procedure division. So these are some various divisions that we have to a program. Under data division you have these two sections, the file section and working storage section. Based on these two section only, the entire program it used to operate. The entire program used to function based on these two section, file section and working storage section, because you have a program and you need some data for it. Without data we won't able to do anything in your program. And for providing data we are using these two sections, the first one which is about file section, and next one is about working storage section. The file section which completely deal with whatever the files that you are going to use in your program, so which is related to files. And then working storage section, whatever the data or whatever the variables that you're going to use, those the variables we used to call it as a data item or data name, technically related to Cobol. And then we used to declare all those data item under working storage section. Okay, this is going to be important section, where normally we used to list all those variables or data items as elementary data items using level numbers 0, 1 and 77. Normally we used to declare it with 0, 1 and 77. But other than these things, sometimes we used to use group data item also. We have an example for this to mention the group data item. For example, we have some three elementary data items. The three elementary data items are day, and then month and year. So day, which represents the day starting from 0, 1 to 30, you have day in a month. And then date, and then month, which refers to 0, 1 to 12, which refers to month. And then year, any year that you're going to use in your program. So we have three different elementary data items here: day, month and year. And for this we are going to group these three elementary data item, and then to this we are going to give a common name, the common name which is going to be date. Okay, this date which is going to be the group data item that you are going to create now. Okay, so by grouping of elementary data item, you are going to create a new data item, the data item which is going to be nothing but your group data item. Okay, and then the next important thing is whatever the memory spaces occupied by elementary data item, that will be collectively occupied by date. For example, the day which is going to hold some 2 KB of memory, or 1 KB of memory, and month which is going to occupy another 1 KB, and then year which is going to occupy some 2 KB of memory. Finally, so for day you have one, and for month you have one, and then for year you have two, a total of four. Collectively we have what, 4 KB of uh, the memory size that is going to occupy in your computer. This 4 KB will be the size of your group data item. The group data item that you are going to create here is what, date. So the date which is going to collectively, which is going to have the memory space of all those elementary data item. So for day which is going to be 1, and for month which is going to be 1, and for year which is going to be 2, collectively we have some a total of 4 KB. This 4 KB will be the size of the group data item, what, date. Okay, so this is going to be as how we used to use the group data item in a program. And then for this group data item we used to give some level numbers. Okay, that particular level number we used to call it as an most inclusive group number, most inclusive group number, we used to call it as a most inclusive group number. Okay, and then to that most inclusive group number you will have some various subdivisions. For example, now the group data item, what, date, the date which is going to have number is going to be 1, 0, 1, and then date which is going to be 0, 1, which is going to be the level number of date. And under this we are going to create what, day, month and year. For day I am going to give 02, and for month I am going to give what, 02, and for year I am going to give 02. So the 01 which is going to be the most inclusive group, and then we have three subdivisions over here. The three subdivisions are with level numbers 02. So this is how normally we used to refer the group data item in your program. Okay, and then you have some rules that to be followed while using these level numbers, so that will be discussed in the presentations. And then you have some more examples for this. So with those examples we could have some clear idea as how we have to use it. And next to this topic we have two more topics. The first one, which is about filler class, FILLER, filler class. And then the next topic, which is which is about value class. So you have two more classes for this presentation, to this presentation. So filler class, which has been used to fill some value. So without using a variable name, suppose if you have to use some data value in your program, so for that purpose you could use this filler class. Okay, so so you won't give some specific data name uh, in your program. You are not going to declare any variable in your program. So instead of declaring a variable and then giving it value and then using it, we are going to mention it as filler. So filler, and then we are going to give some value to it, and wherever they are going to use filler, that particular value will be filled in that particular appropriate positions. Okay, so without declaring a variable, suppose if you have to use a specific value within your program, you could use this filler class. So filler in the sense simply is going to fill some value, but without using a variable name, we are going to make use of that particular value within your program. So for that we used to use this filler class. And then you have some more restrictions in using filler class, where we used to name a data to which we won't assign a data name. So without a data name, we are going to use the filler class. And then so normally we used to have some uh, subdivisions in your group data item. In those subdivisions, suppose if you don't need to mention some of the values or some of the variables, and simply you have to use some values, so for those subdivisions you could use this filler class. So for some subdivisions of your group data item, you could use filler class. And then the first one, the filler class, which is without any data name, we are going to use it. And then the third one, we are going to use it in procedure division, we could use it. Okay, and then you could use this filler class more than once. You could use for any number of times, you could use this filler class. Okay, so these are the four important rules that we have related to filler class. The first one, without a data name, we are going to use it. And second one, for group data item and for some of its subdivisions, we could use this filler class. And the third one, we are going to mention it in the procedure division. And fourth one, you could use any number of filler class within the same program. So these are some of the rules that we have related to filler class. The last one is about value class. The value class, which is for to give some initial values to any variable. So whatever the data item or variable that you're going to declare in your program, so for that, suppose you're going to give some initial value, so that could be done by this particular value class. To give some initial values, we are going to use what? We are going to use this value class. Okay, and then this value class could be used to a numeric data item or non-numeric data item or figurative constants. So for all those purposes, you could use this value class. So you have some more examples, detailed examples in this presentation. So now we could start the presentation, and so we could move slide by slide now. So move to next slide, ma. So this is going to be the introduction for your level numbers. Okay, this is going to be the introduction slide for your level numbers. So the Cobol, which make use of for level number concept to describe the hierarchical data structure. So as we discussed, so to give some hierarchical data structure, or to use some hierarchical data in your program, we are going to use this level numbers. For example, you're going to use some data like for example, you have a group data item, you have a most inclusive group data item, and under that group data item you're going to have some various sub items. Okay,
Initially, suppose the group data item name, which is going to be a grocery. Under this, we are going to add some sub items. The sub items are subdivision of items. Elementary data items are, for example, which may be an pulses, or which may be cereals, or it may be um, some other groceries items. So similarly, just by grouping these elementary items like pulses and cereals, we are going to give a group data item, but group data item which is going to be a groceries, for example. So here, the groceries which is going to be have level number, and then these elementary data item like pulses and cereals which is going to have what's some other level numbers. So the rule here is the subdivisions of group data item must have a level number which must be a greater than the group data item. This is going to be the first and important rule while mentioning or using the group data item. And then this one which is going to give some hierarchical structure to us, so which is going to provide some hierarchical structure to us. Okay, so the level number which is going to be with 2-digit number. So to the maximum for a level number you could use only 2-digit number. Okay, and these are the allowed level numbers that we could use. The allowed level numbers are starting from 01 to 49. So 0102 up to 49 you could use level number. Other than this, you could use three more level numbers: 66, 77 and 88. So these are the three more level numbers that we could use. Then so whatever the data item that you're going to declare under the working storage section, so you have to declare it with some appropriate level numbers. Suppose if you are not going to use the group data item, and for all the elementary data item you could use any level number, starting from 01 to 49 you could use any level numbers. It won't be any problem of using level numbers. Suppose if it's going to be a group data item, and there you have to use the level numbers appropriately with some rules. Suppose we are going to use only elementary data item, you could use level numbers starting from 1 to 49 or 77. You could use any level number, so it won't be a problem because that's going to be an elementary data item. Without any hierarchical order, you could use the level numbers. But whenever that you're going to use group data item, there surely you have to use the level number with some proper order. Okay, so where we are going to declare, we are going to declare it under working storage section. So working storage section which consists of those level numbers. Okay, so while discussing on picture class and working storage section, we came across these level numbers. So you have level numbers at the beginning, and then you will have what you will have data name, and then you will have picture class, and then you have the code character of picture class. Okay, so under working storage section, whenever that you're going to declare a variable, while declaring a variable you have these components. The first one which is going to be your level number, and second one which is going to be the data name or data item name, whatever that you're going to use. And third one which is about picture class, and fourth one which is about your code character for formatting purposes, to denote what is the value that you're going to use over there. We are going to use what? Code character. And sometimes along with code character we used to use editing character also. Okay, but here the first component which is going to be what? Level number, to which indicates the hierarchical representation of your data item. We are going to use what? This level number. Okay, and then mostly the elementary data item can take either a 01 or 77 as its level number. So mostly for elementary data item, so whatever the data item that you're going to use for all those elementary data item, either you could use 01 or 77 as level number. So either you could use 01 or 77 as its level number. So we have an, though we have an option what we could use from 01 to 49, so you could use any numbers. But to avoid confusions, suppose if you are going to use only elementary data item alone within your program, so for that you could use either 01 or 77. For all those data items you could use what? 01 or 77 you could use it. Okay, to differentiate the elementary data item and group data item, here we are following this level number structures. Okay, so have some distinction between your elementary data item and group data item. We are using this level numbers architecture over here. um, so this is going to be the definition for group data item. So how we are going to create a group data item? By combining a few elementary data items, we are going to form what? We are going to form a group data item. So by combining various elementary data item within your program, we are going to create a group data item. So this is the example that already I discussed with you. So you have a day, a month and year. So day, which indicates the value between 1 to 30, and month, which indicates the value between 1 to 12, and then year, which may be of any year that you're going to use it in your program. So this may be three different elementary data items that we have in this example. And then by grouping these three different elementary data item, we are going to create a group data item. The group data item name is date. Okay, so by grouping these three different elementary data item, we are going to create a group data item. The name of the group data item here is date. Okay, so this is going to be the first example, so which will give you some clear idea as how we have to use the level numbers for your data items. Okay, and then the next important thing, so how we used to create the group data item, that's going to be the first one. And what are the various level numbers that we could use for elementary data item, that's going to be the another one. And what are the probable level numbers that we use in your program. So other than these level numbers, you must not use any other level numbers. That's going to be one of the important rules. Okay, so you have to use the level numbers starting from 01 to 49, or 67, or 77, or 88. Other than these level numbers, you must not use any other level numbers. That's going to be one of the important rule that we have. And then the next important thing is, so whatever the memory space used by elementary data item, and to this group data item we are going to assign the collectivity or the collection of all those elementary data item. Whatever the memory space occupied by all those elementary data item collectively will be assigned to your group data item. So as we discussed, so for example, the day, which consists of 1 KB, and month, which consists of 1 KB, and year, which consists of 2 KB, and total of, now we have what, 4 KB. Now the date, the group data item, which consists of the memory spaces, or it's going to occupy the memory spaces in computer, a total of 4 KB of size. Okay, so by grouping or by uh, collectively using those memory spaces occupied by your elementary data item, that will be assigned to your group data item. Okay, this is how we have to use this particular concepts. And then move to next slide, ma. Move to next slide. So this is going to be about hierarchical structure. So how we are going to create hierarchical structure to your program, that's going to be about this particular slide. So to describe the hierarchical structure, we are using the concept what we are using over here, we are using the concept named as what, level numbers. And then the most inclusive group must have the level number 01. So what is my most inclusive group? The most inclusive group, in the sense, we are going to create what, group data item, the most, the topmost group data item name, which will be called as the most inclusive group. Okay, or most inclusive number. Okay, so for example, here we have used what, we have used date as a group data item, and for this we are going to use what, 01 as a level number. Here in this example, the date, which is going to be with some most inclusive number, and this particular data item we used to call it as a most inclusive group. Okay, and which is going to have what, which is going to have the level number 01. And then further subdivisions, whatever the subdivision that you have under this level number, so you will have some various, you could use some various numbers starting from 02 to 49. So the 01, which is going to be the most inclusive group, under this whatever the subdivision that you're going to use, for all those subdivisions you could use the number starting from 02 to 49. So you could use any of these numbers. um, and then so this is going to be the important restrictions while using level numbers. For example, the most inclusive group, which is going to be start with what, level number 01, and further the subdivisions you're going to have some level numbers. The rule here is the subdivision level number must not be less than uh, most inclusive group level number. The subdivision level number must not be less than the level number above it. So whatever the level number that you're going to use it while referring your group data item, the most inclusive group will have some level numbers which is going to be the least one, and whatever the subdivisions that you're going to add under that particular most inclusive group, those level number must be highest one. Okay, so see here in example, day, which is going to be the day, month and year, which is going to have the level number 02, where the date, the group data item, which is going to have the level number 01. So here the most inclusive group is what, date, which is going to have the least level number, the least level number what, 01, which is going to have the low level number, where the day, month and year, which is going to have the highest level number what, 02. So whenever that you're going to arrange those level numbers, it must be with some hierarchical order. So starting from 01, and then you will have 02, and then you will have 03, and then 04. So using those level numbers, you could get an idea as the which one which is going to be the topmost group item, and which one which is going to be the next group item, and which one which is going to be the various subdivisions of items. So basically, to have some nested structures, to have some nested structures of data item, we are going to use this level numbers concept. You have one more example for this. With those example, you will get some clear ideas how we used to use those level numbers. Okay, so for most inclusive group, you will have what, least level number, and for subdivisions you will have the level number which is going to be greater than the most inclusive group. Okay, so that's going to be the important rule that we have to follow while using this hierarchical structure. And then this group includes what, all elementary data item, or it may be a further which is going to be in smaller group. Okay, so the next slide, ma, the next slide. So this is going to be we have two examples over here. So these two examples are very very important here. In the example one, we have the date as a group data item, and then we are using three subdivisions under that group data item. Those three subdivisions we used to call it as what, elementary data item. So the day, month and year, which is going to be the elementary data item, and for this we are going to give what, we are going to give a group name, the group name which is going to be date. Okay, it's very simple. So the date which is going to be the group data item. Okay, and then the day, month and year, which is going to be the elementary data item. By collectively, by grouping all these elementary data item, we are going to give a common name. The common name here which is going to be what, date. Okay, and as we discussed, the group data item must be with some least low level numbers. So see here, the date which is going to have the least level number 01, and then the elementary data item are subdivisions whatever that we have under the group data item, which will be with some highest level number comparing to your group data item. See here, the day, month and year, which is going to have the highest level number what, the 05. So here, instead of 05, you could use any level number between 02 to 49. Okay, so it is not a rule that you just you have to use 05 alone. Instead of using 05 here, you could use any level number between 02 to 49. But all these which comes under what, a same group, all these day, month and year which comes under same group, so you have to use a same number. Suppose you're going to use 03, you have to use 03 for day, month and year. For all these three, you have to use the same level number. Okay, but you could use the level number starting from 02 to 49. You could use any of the level number. And then this is the second example. This is going to be a very important example. So in this example, we are discussing about employee payroll. Okay, employee payroll or employee pay slip, actually, which is about pay slip here. So in this pay slip, um, so that's about a pay which indicates employee pay 01, which is going to be employee pay. So under this we have some three important subdivisions. So here the most inclusive group data item, which is going to be pay. Under this pay we have some more subdivisions: gross pay, deductions, and net pay. See here the gross pay, deductions, and net pay, which is going to be with the level number 02. Okay, and then these gross pay, which is going to be have some more subdivisions as basic pay, dearness, and house rent allowances. Okay, this is going to be, which comes under what, your gross pay, and then which is going to be with level number 03. And then the next one, for deductions, you have two more subdivisions, the subdivisions of elementary data items 03 and pf detect, and 03 pf detect. Okay, so see here the most inclusive group, which is going to be what, 01, and which consists of three subdivisions: gross pay, deductions, and net pay. Further, the gross pay, which is going to have three more subdivisions, and deductions, which is going to have two more subdivisions. And then how we have arranged: 01, which is going to be for most inclusive group data item. For pay we have used 01, and for gross pay we are using the level number what, 02, and then for deductions 02, and for net pay we are using 02. So these three things which comes under pay, these three things: gross pay, deductions, and net pay, which comes under the group data item what, 01. Okay, and then under gross pay you have three more items, and then under deductions you have two more items. And then see here, whenever that you're going to compare the elementary data item and group data item, the elementary data item which will be having the least which is to have some highest level number comparing to your group data item. See here the gross pay, which is going to be the group data item for basic, DNS, and house rent, which is going to be with level number, with low level number, the level number which is going to be 02, whereas the elementary data item under the gross pay, which is going to have the high level number, the level number which is going to be 03. Okay, so similarly deductions, which is going to be the group data item under pay, and then for this we are using what, the level number 02, and then under this we have two more subdivisions, pf detect and it detect, which is going to be with some high level number comparing to your deductions. So 02, which is going to be the level number for deductions, and under that we have two more elementary items. These elementary item, which is going to have what, which is going to have the highest value, where the group data item, which is going to have lowest value. So we could use some simple formula, we could define some simple formula for this. The most inclusive group data item, which is going to have the value 01, that's going to be the formula number, rule number 1. Okay, the most inclusive group data item, which is going to have the level number 01, and whatever the subdivisions that we have under the most inclusive group, which is going to have the level number which is going to be greater than the most inclusive group. Okay, so under the most inclusive group data item you will have subdivisions which is going to be with some high value comparing to your most inclusive group, and then the subdivisions may have further subdivisions, those subdivisions which is going to be have highest value comparing to your group data item. So simple formula here is the group data item which is going to have low level number, where the subdivisions which is going to have high level number. Okay, the group data item which is going to have level number which is going to be with some low value, and subdivisions of that particular group data item which is going to have the level number with some high value. Okay, so this is going to be the simple rule about this using level numbers. Okay, the next slide, the next slide. See here, you have some descriptions for this um, using date and pay. So we have discussed about two examples over here. The first one is about date and pay, and for date we have some three more elementary data items, and for pay you have various group data items and then various elementary data items. The group data items are the pay, which is going to be the topmost group data item, and under that you have three more group data item gross pay, deductions, and net pay, and under that you have various elementary data items. Okay, so under gross pay you have things like uh, basic dearness and house rent. Under deductions you have pf deduct and it deduct, and finally you will have net pay. Which is been with some hierarchical structure after using the level number, which is going to be with some hierarchical structure. Okay. Okay, so with this I would like to stop this session. So I'm going to continue this presentation in the next class. So tomorrow we have second hour, we have some we have class. So tomorrow second hour I'm going to once again I'm going to revise this once again, and then I will continue the remaining slides in this particular presentation. So before ending this session, I would like to ask you some questions. Okay, this is going to be some simple questions. With these questions I'm going to stop this presentations. Okay. The first question, which is about so how many digits to the maximum we could use for level numbers? To the maximum, how many digits that we could use for level numbers? How many digits? Okay, I'm asking about digits. How many digits that we could use for level numbers? Kanya have answered it correctly. The answer is 2. Okay, and then Malavika, and then Surya. Okay, and then Nitish. Okay, so the answer for this question, to the maximum we could use only 2 digit for level numbers. For example, we have level numbers but starting from 0, 1 to 49 we could use, and other than that we could use 66, 77, and 88. Okay, and then what is the use of value class? The second question, what is the use of value class? Fill some values. Okay, any other answers? Fill some values. Actually, the purpose of value class is to give some initial values to a variable or to a data item. We used to use this value class. Okay, the third question is, what are the two types of data item that we have? Two types of data item that we have under this level structures. Two types of data items. Okay, it's correct. The answer is very exact. Elementary item and group data item. So these are the two types of data item that we have in this particular topic, level structures. So based on this only, actually the entire topic which used to work. So we have two types of data items: elementary data item and then group data item. Okay. So that's it. So with this I would like to stop this session. So this presentation, we could continue this presentation in the next class. Okay. So thank you, students. Thank you for listening patiently. Thank you.